Hey everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Paula. In today's video, we are stepping back in time into an era of sharp detectives, twisty plots, and oh so satisfying murders, where the tea is hot and the clues are clever. We're talking all things Golden Age crime. If that sounds like fun to you, stick around and let's get started. Golden Age crime writing is a subgenre of the mystery category, and it flourished mostly between the 1920s and the 1940s and a little beyond. And of course, Agatha Christie is the undisputed queen of this genre. Although there are many other authors whom I absolutely adore who flourished during this time and wrote fabulous books. They include Geette Hair, Ngaio Marsh, Dorothy Elsars, and many others, and we're going to talk about them. But first, let's talk about what exactly is Golden Age crime. So these type of mysteries have or employ certain tropes or literary devices, plot themes, etc. Typically, they are in what we call a closed circle, where there is a limited number of suspects. So, for example, think on a train, murder on the Orient Express, or in a country manor, the body in the library, for example. So there's this closed circle where basically the suspects are all kind of contained within this setting, and there are a limited number of those suspects, and all of them have some kind of secret that they're hiding or a motive for this murder. So you set the stage for that. Also, there is typically there are one of two things: kind of a novice detective, or just a regular citizen like a Miss Marple who is solving this, an amateur sleuth, so to speak, who's solving the crime, or a brilliant detective like Hercule Poirot. These mysteries are typically not, incredibly violent. I mean, there's a violent death that occurs in it, but the description of the death and the body is kind of off screen a little bit. It's not bloody and gory, like a modern day true crime type of writing. And the other fun fact about these is that they invite the reader to solve the crime right along with the amateur sleuth or brilliant detective. So you're presented with all of the information and the clues right along in the story. And so it makes it really fun. It's like solving a puzzle. And the detectives do usually solve the murder through logic and not through any kind of force or aggression. It's using the little gray cells, as Hercule Poirot would say. So I'm a huge fan of Golden Age crime writing, and I have read lots and lots of these books. I own several, and I'm always looking to add to my collection of them. So today I'm going to talk with you about some of these Golden Age crime stories or books that would be perfect for you to read on a hot summer day, whether you're at the beach, by the pool, or sitting under a shady tree. One of my favorite Agatha Christie novels is called And Then There Were None. And in fact, this continues to be one of her most popular and widely read novels. This is a closed circle mystery. It is, the story is that 10 strangers are invited to an island, and they arrive only to find that their host is nowhere to be seen. And each of these 10 guests has some kind of secret that they're hiding. And over the course of the stay there, they begin to realize that kind of strange things are happening and that each of the guests is being targeted in some way. And they're all on this island together. This is such an atmospheric book, and it has such great plot twists and turns. I cannot recommend this one highly enough. I absolutely love this book, And Then There Were None. And so this is a great example of a closed circle Golden Age crime mystery novel. Next up for Golden Age crime writers is Dorothy Elsars, and this is one of my favorites, Murder Must Advertise. And this stars her iconic detective, Lord Peter Wimsey. In this particular book, a copywriter at a London advertising agency dies in what appears to be a simple accident. Well, Lord Peter Wimsey is called in to kind of discreetly investigate because there are some suspicions that maybe it wasn't an accident after all. So he goes undercover at this advertising agency. And what follows is a fabulous, very, very well written plot with lots of twists and turns and an examination of office politics, social commentary, dry humor. It's just fantastic. I think you will absolutely enjoy this. I feel that this is one of Dorothy Elsars' very best, most well-written books. I love Lord Peter Wimsey. I love this whole series. Later on, there's a love interest that gets involved with him, but it's just a wonderful book. So I highly recommend Murder Must Advertise by Dorothy Elsars. Next, we have Why Shoot a Butler by Geette Hair. This is a fabulous and very witty novel. What happens in this book is that barrister Frank Amberley is driving on a lonely country road at night and he comes upon a woman in distress. When he gets out to help her, he discovers that there is a corpse in the car behind her. He also realizes that despite the woman's, declarations that she had nothing to do with this, something is not right here and all is not as it seems. And he is kind of drawn into this tangled web of all of these, people with motives and trying to figure out who would shoot this mild-mannered butler. It's fabulous. It's got mystery, it's got romance, it's got dry humor. It's just a fantastic read. So I highly recommend Geette Hair's Why Shoot a Butler. The next book I want to recommend to you, although I have not read this because I just got this at a thrift store, I believe, or maybe the library book sale, but it is The Crime at Black Dudley by Marjorie Allingham. Now, in this book, she introduces her amateur sleuth, Albert Campion, who is this kind of eccentric gentleman. I believe in this book, he is in a supporting role, but as she continues to write, he goes on to be the primary, amateur sleuth. And this is the classic golden crime trope of a closed circle manor house mystery. I'll read you a little bit from the back. A house party with a glittering guest list. An imposing country estate with endless shadowy staircases and unused rooms. The breathless period between the two world wars. It's the ideal setting for the classic English murder mystery. And bringing it to perfection is the introduction in a supporting role for the first and last time of Albert Campion, the consummate gentleman sleuth. So I am excited to read this. I will have to report back to you about it, but I'm sure that it is excellent. And it's, again, a slim read, so probably something you could bring to the beach or to the pool and read it in a couple of days. But it is the classic, closed circle trope English manor house murder mystery. And I'm very excited to read this. So this might be one you'll want to add to your to-be-read list. Another writer who I would consider to be kind of on the outskirts of that golden age of crime writing is P.D. James. She retired from writing in 1979, so she was a little bit past the kind of quintessential prime of golden age crime writers, but she employs a lot of the same literary devices and plot ideas that those golden age crime writers did. Some of hers are a little bit more gritty and psychological, but she does use a lot of that logic and puzzle solving devices. So I actually love P.D. James. She writes the Adam Dalgliesh murder mysteries. They have been made into a television series, I think by PBS or the BBC. This one, The Black Tower, is a one that I have not read. This is stars Adam Dalgleish. It says, just recovered from a grave illness, Commander Adam Dalgleish receives a call for advice from the elderly chaplain at Toynton Grange. And he goes there and is kind of drawn into this mystery. I talked about this book a little bit when I got it. I think this I did get at the library book sale, and I have not. It's on my stack of books to be read, but anything by P.D. James I absolutely love. My mom is a big P.D. James fan as well, and I'm sure many of you are, especially having seen the Adam Dalgleish series on TV. Now, just because that kind of golden age crime writing was, you know, between the two world wars essentially, doesn't mean that there aren't mystery writers today who don't emulate that same style. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the modern day mystery writers who employ some of those similar literary devices or tropes. The amateur sleuth, a lot of cozy mysteries employ an amateur sleuth. And then some of them use kind of the closed circle, the English manor house, the cast of characters with lots of secrets. And some of the modern day authors that I'm going to talk to you a little bit about include T.E. Kinsey, Ellie Griffiths, and Sophie Hannah. So let me just talk a little bit about these three books that I have, two of which I've checked out of the library and one of which I picked up at the library sale. The T.E. Kinsey novel that I have is called An Act of Foul Play, and this stars Lady Hardcastle, who's an amateur sleuth, and her maid Flo. And together they are a wonderful duo that solve all kinds of murders. This one takes place when there is a backstage murder at an amateur play that Lady Hardcastle is attending, and she and Flo get drawn into this, solving this murder, and it looks to be very, very good. November 1911, Lady Emily Hardcastle is celebrating her birthday by seeing a play at the Duke's Theatre in Bristol with her maid and confidant, the inimitable Flo. Act 1 is a triumph. Then Act 2 opens with a body on stage, a real one. One of the cast has been brutally murdered during the interval. All right, nothing says golden age crime like a body on stage, right? So anyway, I'm excited to read this. I've read several of the other Lady Hardcastle mysteries, and I absolutely love them. I love the relationship between Lady Hardcastle and Flo. I love everything about T.E. Kinsey's writings. She is an excellent, excellent writer, and she is a modern day, what I would consider golden age type crime writer. The next book that I have not read, and actually I have not read any by her, is The Last Remains by Ellie Griffiths. Several of you recommended that I try reading an Ellie Griffiths novel, and I appreciate that. I love book recommendations, so leave them in the comments, anything you want to recommend to me. This one stars Dr. Ruth Galloway, who is an archaeologist, and so this is the little synopsis. When builders discover a human skeleton during the renovation of a cafe, they call in archaeologist Dr. Ruth Galloway, who is preoccupied with the threatened closure of her department and by her ever-complicated relationship with DCI Nelson. The bones turned out to be modern, the remains of Emily Pickering, a young archaeology student who went missing in 2002. Suspicion soon falls on Emily's Cambridge tutor and also on another archaeology enthusiast who is part of the group gathered the weekend before she disappeared, Ruth's friend Cathbad. So this, I actually love anything to do with archaeology. I'm fascinated by that. And so I'm really excited to read this. And I've read several reviews of Ellie Griffith's books since people suggested that I read her, and it sounds like Dr. Ruth Galloway is a fabulous character. She may not be entirely likable, but she's definitely plucky and determined, and so that's my kind of a character. So I'm excited to read The Last Remains by Ellie Griffiths. And then one more library book that I haven't read yet, and by an author that I have not read either, is Sophie Hannah's The Couple at the Table. Again, several people recommended Sophie Hannah as an author that I might be interested in. And this one, let's see what this one is about. Jane and William are enjoying their honeymoon at an exclusive couples-only resort. until Jane receives a chilling note warning her to beware of the couple at the table nearest yours. At dinner that night, 5 other couples are present, and none of their tables is any nearer or farther away than any of the others. It's almost as if someone has set the scene in order to make the warning note meaningless. But why would anyone do that? So here again, we have a closed circle mystery with a limited number of suspects. So this is like a modern day Golden Age crime book, and I'm excited to read it. It's a New York Times best-selling author, Sophie Hannah. So it is The Couple at the Table by Sophie Hannah. So if I finish this before the end of the month, I will definitely include it in my reading wrap-up for July. All right. Well, that concludes my little discussion on Golden Age crime writing. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave suggestions in the comment box below for any, writers that you think I would really enjoy. Mystery is my all-time favorite genre, though I do read lots of other genres as well, but I, at heart, am a true Golden Age crime mystery fan. So I've given you lots of suggestions. Let me know if you've read any of them, if you enjoyed them. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and share this with any of your friends who you think might enjoy it. Thank you so much to all of you who have been sharing our channel and leaving comments. It really does help us out tremendously. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We are working so hard to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're inching closer toward our goal, and we would absolutely love it if you could help us get there. When we do, we will have some sort of big celebration and giveaway. I'm going to leave a few more bookish videos linked at the end of this one and in the comment box below, or the description box below. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.